You might think you're ready for a trip in 2026, but the new airport health rules could leave even seasoned travelers stranded at the gate. The headlines mention facial scans and digital paperwork, but few mention the unpublicized medical prompts or medication checks now tied to the EU's entry-exit system, especially for travelers over 50. Miss a single step and you could face hours-long delays or even a last-minute denial to fly. Most don't realize what these rules actually mean until it's too late. So what's really hidden in the fine print of the new 2026 airport health regulations? Let's walk through what awaits you the moment you set foot at the border. Stepping off the plane in 2026, the first official stop for non-European Union travelers at a Schengen airport is the new biometric kiosk. No more passport stamps. Now, everything starts with a digital scan. The kiosk greets you with a camera at eye level and a clear set of instructions, available in multiple languages. Place your passport face down on the reader. The system automatically pulls your name and travel details from the machine-readable zone, linking them to your unique biometric profile. Within seconds, a light flashes and the camera prompts you to look straight ahead. The facial scan takes less than a minute for most travelers. If you wear glasses or a hat, the screen guides you to remove them for a clear match. For the majority, this step is finished in under 60 seconds. Face and passport now digitally paired. At major airports, the next prompt requests fingerprints, 4 fingers at a time, gently pressed on the illuminated pad. Some travelers breeze through. Others, especially those with worn fingerprints or mobility challenges, may find it less straightforward. When the system can't capture a clear print after 2 tries, the screen signals for help. Assisted lanes marked with yellow signage stand ready nearby. Staff are trained to guide travelers through manual checks, and priority is given to anyone struggling with the kiosk, especially seniors or those with visible mobility aids. According to airport operations data, about 2 to 7% of passengers need this extra help, most often older adults or anyone with non-standard fingerprints. In these cases, a border officer steps in to complete the process by hand. All biometric data, face, fingerprints, and passport are encrypted and sent directly to the entry-exit system. For travelers who clear the kiosk, the process ends here. For those routed to assisted lanes, it's a short wait for a manual check before moving on. The entire system is designed for speed, but also for support. As Dr. Francois Holthoff, technical manager for the EES project, explains, our goal is to ensure every traveler, regardless of age or ability, can move through border control with dignity and confidence. After the biometric scan, a new prompt appears on the kiosk screen. The message reads, "Before continuing, please confirm. Do you require medical equipment such as oxygen or an insulin pump, prescription medication, or special assistance during your journey? Yes or no?" Travelers over 50 and anyone booked on long-haul flights are especially likely to see this question. For most, a simple tap on the screen is enough. Selecting no clears you to the next step. For those who answer yes, the process adds a few minutes to the journey. A timer in the corner counts down, reassuring travelers that help is on the way. Within moments, a gate nurse arrives carrying a tablet and a calm, practiced demeanor. She asks for your medication list and any supporting documents. The routine is straightforward: original packaging, a doctor's letter if available, and a quick cross-check with your boarding pass. The nurse may ask, have you had any recent hospital stays? Are you carrying injectable medication or medical devices? The questions are brief, focused, and designed to match your answers with the airline's requirements for medical clearance. Most medication checks take less than 5 minutes, especially for travelers who bring a printed or digital medication list. For those with more complex needs, such as insulin pumps or portable oxygen, the nurse verifies that devices meet the new battery and safety guidelines. If everything matches, the system updates your digital profile and the gate agent receives a green light. You're cleared to board with your medical equipment tagged for priority storage near your seat. If documents are missing or unclear, the nurse explains what's needed and offers a direct line to the airline's medical desk for same-day review. This layer of screening is limited to flagged long-haul routes and travelers with declared health needs. For everyone else, the process remains invisible. But for seniors and those with chronic conditions, these extra steps are now a routine part of international travel. The experience is designed to be efficient, respectful, and, when travelers arrive prepared, virtually seamless. At major European airports, the numbers behind the new health checks tell their own story. Data from IATA and airport pilot programs reveal that travelers aged 60 and above are now the most likely group to be flagged for additional review. In the 2025 pilot at Heathrow, nearly 1 in 12 seniors, about 8%, were directed to secondary screening after answering yes to medical prompts or presenting medication. For most, the process added less than half an hour to their journey, but a smaller group experienced longer waits, often due to missing paperwork or language barriers. Behind each statistic is a real traveler navigating these changes for the first time. One volunteer, a 67-year-old retiree, agreed to have her experience documented during the Heathrow pilot. Her journey began with a simple question at the kiosk. Did she require medical equipment or prescription medication? She tapped yes, which triggered a flag in the system. Within minutes, she was met by a nurse who calmly reviewed her medication list, checked for a doctor's letter, and asked about recent hospital stays. The volunteer had prepared a translated medication list and a fit-to-fly note from her GP. The documentation matched, and her boarding approval came through with a reassuring tone. She later described a wave of relief, saying the process felt personal but not invasive when the paperwork was in order. For airport staff, these cases are now routine. According to the Heathrow case log, seniors account for the majority of flags, but almost all are cleared to board once documentation is verified. The emphasis on preparation, especially for those with chronic conditions, means that a little planning can turn a flagged case into a smooth passage. The data and stories together highlight a new reality. Health screening is now part of the travel checklist, and for seniors, being ready is the key to keeping the journey on track. Unexpected delays at European airports in 2026 often start with a simple set of triggers. Travelers who carry prescription medications, medical devices with batteries, or who request assistance are most likely to be flagged for extra screening. According to travel clinic physicians, the most common cause of a holdup is missing or incomplete documentation. A printed medication list, original packaging, and a recent doctor's letter, ideally translated, are now as essential as your boarding pass. For those with chronic conditions or recent hospital stays, the system may prompt an additional fitness to fly declaration, especially on long-haul routes. Medical equipment powered by lithium batteries brings its own hurdles. New regulations require batteries to be under 300 watt-hours, and removable batteries must be carried separately. If the battery's paperwork isn't clear, or if the device needs inspection, travelers can face waits that stretch from a few minutes to nearly an hour during peak periods. Some airport clinics report that confusion over battery documentation and labeling is the single biggest source of stress for travelers using mobility aids. A travel health specialist at a London clinic recommends keeping a copy of the manufacturer's compliance certificate with your device, along with a backup battery in an approved case. This simple step can cut clearance time by half. Medication checks also cause delays when travelers pack pills in unmarked containers or forget a prescription. Staff are trained to be discreet, but if the medication is a controlled substance, such as certain painkillers or insulin, the review is more thorough. A nurse may call the airline's medical desk for same-day verification, but missing paperwork can mean waiting for a doctor's callback, or in rare cases, being denied boarding until the issue is resolved. The stress of being pulled aside, especially for those already anxious about travel, can be significant. Experts urge travelers to treat the medication list as a critical document, updated before every trip. As one travel clinic physician puts it, if you can list every medicine, every dose, and show a doctor's letter, you're already ahead of the game. Late in 2024, a Lufthansa flight bound for Los Angeles made headlines after an unscheduled landing in Reykjavik. The cause: a 62-year-old passenger experiencing a cardiac emergency mid-flight. Crew members scrambled to stabilize the situation, coordinating with ground medical teams and following established emergency protocols. The aircraft diverted, landing over 2 hours ahead of schedule, where paramedics met the plane on the tarmac. For the airline, the costs quickly mounted: fuel dump, landing fees at a non-hub airport, compensation for hundreds of delayed travelers, and the logistics of rerouting an entire long-haul operation. Industry analysts estimate that such medical diversions routinely cost airlines between €30,000 and €200,000, with rare cases reaching higher when multiple factors combine. In this instance, the lack of a clear medical history or medication list for the passenger complicated the crew's response and delayed critical decisions. Events like this are not isolated. According to the International Air Transport Association, in-flight medical emergencies have increased by nearly 15% over the last 5 years, with older travelers making up a growing share of the incidents. Airlines and regulators took notice. The European Center for Disease Prevention and Control, monitoring trends across the continent, flagged the need for more robust passenger health protocols. As one IATA spokesperson put it, no airline wants to face the human and financial cost of a diversion that could have been prevented with better pre-boarding checks. These high-profile emergencies have become a catalyst for change. Airlines are now testing new health verification steps, hoping to reduce the risk of costly diversions and improve safety for all passengers. The Lufthansa event is often cited by industry insiders as a wake-up call, one that set in motion a series of dry runs and policy reviews across Europe. At the heart of these changes is a simple calculation: the cost of prevention is far less than the price of a single emergency landing. Frankfurt's 2025 dry run of the new health screening process offered a first look at how the system works under real pressure. Over the course of a single week, thousands of travelers passed through biometric and health kiosks, with airport operations teams monitoring every step. According to an internal ACI Europe bulletin, the average wait time for health screening lanes reached just under half an hour, and a notable number of passengers were flagged for extra medication documentation checks. While exact figures remain confidential, airport staff described a steady flow of travelers, many over 50, presenting medication lists, prescriptions, and doctor's letters for review. The process, while efficient for most, revealed operational snags. Language barriers, missing paperwork, and unfamiliarity with the new requirements led to confusion at screening points. In several cases, travelers carrying prescription medicines in unmarked containers or without translated documentation faced longer reviews or were temporarily denied boarding until the situation could be clarified. One airport operations lead explained, "The dry run taught us that clear signage and advanced communication are as important as the technology itself. When passengers arrive prepared, the process is smooth. When they don't, everyone feels the strain." Privacy advocates quickly raised concerns about the expanding data footprint. Organizations like EDRI and NOYB argued that the collection of health declarations, even on an optional basis, blurs the line between necessary travel information and sensitive personal data. Their statements pointed to risks of data misuse, unclear retention policies, and a lack of robust opt-out mechanisms. In response, airport authorities emphasized that health modules remain optional and are activated only for flagged routes or at-risk travelers, with strict oversight and data protection measures in place. Still, the debate continues, as NGOs call for regular audits and clearer boundaries between health and border data. The Frankfurt trial underscored both the operational promise and the legal unease surrounding these new protocols. As airports refine their approach, the balance between efficient health screening and personal privacy remains at the center of the conversation. Advanced preparation now carries real weight for anyone flying in 2026, especially travelers over 50. Airlines are requiring more detailed paperwork before you ever step foot in the terminal. For those with chronic conditions, recent hospital stays, or medical equipment, the process starts at home, often days before departure. Most major carriers now ask for a completed medical information form, known as a MEDIF, at least 48 to 72 hours in advance. Some, like British Airways and Lufthansa, recommend sending a doctor's letter within a 7-day window before your flight. These documents should list all current medications, dosages, and any recent changes in your health status. Storing digital copies on your phone and printed versions in your carry-on can save time if questions arise at check-in or the gate. Travelers are also encouraged to download airline-specific templates directly from carrier websites. These forms cover everything from insulin pumps to portable oxygen concentrators, and many airlines offer checklists for what supporting documents to bring. A recent internal memo from a major European airline's medical desk advises, advance notification is the single most effective way to avoid boarding delays. Early submission lets our team review your needs, confirm equipment approval, and flag any missing details before you arrive. For medication, original packaging with clear labels is now as important as your passport. If you use mobility aids or devices powered by batteries, notify your airline early to confirm they meet the latest watt-hour limits and storage rules. Keeping all documents together, printed, translated if possible, and backed up digitally, reduces the chance of last-minute surprises. These steps, while new to many, are now essential for a smooth journey through Europe's updated airport health protocols. At the departure terminal, the final hurdle before boarding is a practical one, presenting your documentation and clearing the last of the health and equipment checks. Airline staff now request proof of medical insurance for all non-European Union arrivals and long-haul passengers, especially those over 50. Paper copies and digital policies are both accepted, but the insurance must explicitly cover medical emergencies and repatriation. If your documents are incomplete or unclear, staff provide a written denial form on the spot, a crucial piece for any future claim with your insurer. Without this, travelers risk losing out on compensation if their trip is delayed or canceled due to a medical issue. For those carrying medical devices, the battery rule is strictly enforced. Any lithium battery over 300 watt-hours is prohibited from boarding, regardless of device type. Removable batteries must be packed in carry-on luggage with compliance paperwork ready for inspection. Airlines and airport security have standardized this threshold across the European Union, and staff are trained to check manufacturer labels and ask for proof of compliance. Travelers caught unaware may be asked to remove the battery or, in rare cases, leave the device behind. Keeping a copy of the manufacturer's compliance certificate and carrying a spare battery in an approved case can prevent last-minute stress. Insurance underwriters advise travelers to collect and keep all denial or delay documentation, including any written notes from airport staff. This evidence is often required for successful claims, especially when medical boarding is refused or equipment is confiscated. By treating paperwork, battery compliance, and insurance as essential as your passport, travelers can protect both their journey and their finances. The final checkpoint is not just about health, it's about being prepared for the unexpected, with every document in order. By April 2026, the EU entry and exit system will require all non-EU travelers to complete facial scans at border kiosks, with fingerprinting at major airports. For travelers over 50, new health prompts and selective medication checks add extra steps, confirmed by pilot programs like the Heathrow volunteer case and IATA field data. Industry documents link these changes directly to rising in-flight medical emergencies and the high cost of flight diversions, such as Lufthansa's €600,000 incident. Yet some figures, like precise flag rates or Frankfurt's medication screening totals, remain unpublished or unverified by independent sources. The health modules are still optional by law, and privacy debates continue across the EU. What is clear? Being prepared with updated medical documents, advanced airline notifications, and knowledge of device rules will be essential for smooth travel. The new rules reflect a balance between passenger safety and operational efficiency, leaving some questions open, but making preparation the proven path forward.